Hi everyone. I hope this is recording. This might take a couple of takes. Who knows? No script, as always. So I haven't used this setup in a while. I want to talk about one of my favorite movies of all time. It's weird because I say it's one of my favorites, even though it is nowhere near my top 10. I think just because other movies emotionally have always, got me more. But I think filmmaking wise and theming, I think it's one of the best movies I think of that. And that is the 1979 classic, The Muppets original movie. If you've not seen it, go get a Disney Plus subscription. Go watch it on Apple TV. Go watch it on DVD. It's basically, you can watch it most ways. Just go watch it, okay? Sit down for like less than 2 hours and watch it. And at first couple glances, it's like, oh, it's a silly, fun movie. But when you really look at it, it is a reflection of and people who are very imaginative. Me. And others. And also the Jim Henson and his group. And it's very interesting to watch Kermit. We all love Kermit. Kermit's great. The thing that they did with Kermit is they gave him an arc. And if you just remove some of the meta jokes, and then remove some of the actual jokes, and you just look at Kermit as a character, you can see there's an arc. And that is one from, it's believing in yourself. Believing that this far-off thing that's a fantasy can actually happen. And for someone like me, who wants to be a filmmaker, I'm just in a town that's on the other side of the country. That seems very unlikely. But Kermit did it. And I get it, it's a movie, but the message is the same. Jim Henson did it. Spielberg. Lucas. Disney. They've done it. And why should there be a reason I can't do it? That sounded very mean. I am so sorry. R.I.P. to all people wearing headphones. I know you're like, why doesn't the mic have a little thing to make the sound better? I'm so sorry. I hope that helps. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Oh, that sounds so mean. But what I'm trying to say is, I think the message is believing in yourself, believing in others. And I actually think the point of it happening is, obviously, spoilers, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's the moment, like, the car breaks down, they're stuck there. They're stuck in the desert. Ralph, Kermit, Fozzie, Gonzo, Camilla, I think. Did I say Ralph? I said Ralph. I think that's the ones there. Yeah. Yep. They're stuck in the desert. They're stuck in the desert. Oh, I forgot Piggy. I might have said Piggy. I don't know. They're stuck in the desert. They're all like, how are we going to get there now, Kermit? And Kermit's like, I didn't promise you guys this. And then Gonzo sings, I'm going to go back there someday. And I think it might be one of my favorite Muppet songs. Go listen to it. It is a beautiful song. It's so sweet. And then Kermit walks away and talks to himself. Quite literally. Like, actually does talk to himself. It's one of those moments of the movie, it's like, emotionally you can understand what's going on, but it's also kind of a funny gag when you think about it. It's like, why Kermit talking to himself? But that also makes sense. So I always have interpreted as Kermit talking to his conscience, or I wouldn't say conscience, but I guess conscience is the best word, because, like, it doesn't need to be explained. And our main Kermit, I'm going to call, is like, I didn't promise him anything. It was just a silly thing. And he's like, Fig, no, you promised, okay, you may not promise them something, but you promised yourself something. It's like, oh, I guess I did. And they believed you because you promised yourself something. So by saying I didn't promise you, you're saying I didn't promise myself. Therefore, this fantasy dream that could have happened, you're now turning it down. And you're stuck here. So go back to your friends and wait till a bus arrives. Specifically a musical bus. That was the worst way I could recap that scene. I apologize to all you Muppet fans out there. I am a Jim Henson nerd. Super. I have like a biography. I've watched the documentary so many times at this point. But I apologize. That was a horrible interpretation. Not interpretation. Reattempt? No. Reenactment. That's the word I'm looking for. Of that. That was horrible. And by the way, just go watch the scene. You can look it up on YouTube. Kermit talks to himself. Probably. But that's where Kermit starts blaming himself, and then happily ever after. And obviously, that's not the Jim Henson story. It is the way Jim Henson. That's the gang story, but Jim Henson himself, it's more. It was a lot more trial and error. And he probably had a lot of moments where talking to himself was like, is this even worth it? And I'm like, dude, that hits hard. It's like, yeah. Like, if you think about it, we all have dreams. We all want to accomplish goals. And there are some points in our life where it's like, is it even worth it? I'm going through all of this pain, all of this tragedy, all of this hard work, and for just something simple, for something. Maybe changing the world, is it even worth it when I'm content? That's a question. And that's a question I definitely know I need to figure out. I know my dream of being a filmmaker is worth it. But there are days where I'm like, is it though? And yeah, it is tough. It is hard to get through depression. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. We're talking about Muppets. ADHD full in force. But my main point is, even though it's hard, even though it's difficult, even though it's challenging, every person who's done it has not gone through a challenge. Every person who has done it has had not. That's weird. Has had no. That refers to a time loop. Had to go through a big challenge, whether it was family, whether it was money, whether it was the story itself, whether people not liking it. They've all gone through it, and that's because they're human, like us. And also, I think I need to stop recording because my camera is slowing down. Well, I hope this was an entertaining video, ? I don't know. Like and subscribe, comment down below. What did you think of this video? I'll see you guys next time. JT out.